For the last video of the day, we will look at equations that have more than one variable in them, like this temperature for converting a Fahrenheit temperature to a Celsius temperature that has more than one variable in it. And sometimes we want to take those formulas and solve for the other variable that is not yet solved for. For example, we want to solve this equation for F. And in this one, I'm actually going to do this two different ways because there are two different approaches we could take to this one. The first one is we will follow the exact same process that we did before by distributing this 5/9. We will take this 5/9 and distribute it through. Now we will have some fractions to work with, and this is one of those cases where I really prefer the fractions to decimals because the decimals turn out to be repeating decimals, very difficult to work with. So that's why we prefer to work with the fractions in this case. So when we distribute that 5/9, we have 5/9 F minus, and then when we take the 32 times the 5/9, there is no greatest common factor other than 1 of 32 and 9. So we're going to go ahead and multiply this 32 to the 5. Again, when you multiply a fraction by a whole number, you multiply that whole number just to the numerator, not to both. So 5 times 32, 5 times 30 is 150, 5 times 2 is 10, 150 plus 10 is 160 ninths. And then we solve this equation like we normally would. The next step would be to add 160 ninths to both sides. And when we do that, we cannot combine these two because they're not like terms, so we leave them separate. Now, the next step is to multiply both sides of this equation. We're going to multiply everything by 9/5, and here's why. We take what is being multiplied by that variable, which is 5/9, and we're going to divide both sides by that. Dividing by 5/9 is the same thing as multiplying by 9/5. So, when we do that, we get 9/5 C, multiplying the C by 9/5. Then we're taking the 160 ninths times 9/5. The 9's cancel, and 160 and the 5, if I do this on the side, 160 over 9 times 9/5. The 9's cancel, and 160 and 5 has a greatest common factor of 5. 5 goes into 160 32 times. So we have plus 32 is equal to F. Okay? Another way we could have approached this is we didn't necessarily have to distribute that 5/9. We could think of this F minus 32 as some chunk, T, for example. If we had 5/9 T equals C, we would again divide both sides by 5/9, which in turn multiplies by 9/5. Okay? So when we do that here, we multiply both sides by 9/5. Okay? We end up with the 9/5 C equals, and then if we had 5/9 T and we multiplied that by 9/5, we would be left with just T. Well, that chunk is just F minus 32. And then to solve that for F, we add 32 to both sides. which leaves us with, we cannot combine these two because they're not like terms, so that's 9/5 C plus 32 is equal to F, which is what we got doing it the second way. Okay, so a lot of these problems, there's more than one way to approach them. The important thing is show me what you're doing. Show me the work that you are going through. Okay, the last one is actually quite a bit easier. We want to, in this one, get the C by itself and write it in terms of K. So we are starting with K equals C plus 273. And this is pretty simple one-step equation. To solve the addition, we subtract 273. And again, we cannot combine these two because this term has a K, this one does not. So we have to leave them separately as K minus 273 equals C. And that is a solution solving for C in that one. This is the last video of the day. Please have these notes done when you come to class tomorrow. Thank you.